Hi there, and welcome to the Kingdom Sexuality Podcast. We're Paris and Alana, friends who have a heart for intimacy and long to uncover God's truth and design for sexual freedom within marriage. Welcome here.
So we get it. Valentine's Day can be totally overrated. It becomes a sales pitch at every store you go to. Pressure to give and gift, pressure to purchase, pressure to do all the things, even if you are not sure why. And that's just totally not cool. So we kind of want to spin things off a little bit differently to get the gears going on your mind in terms of how you view Valentine's Day this year and how you go about it. Because we think at Kingdom Sexuality that Valentine's Day can be super underrated. And how so? Let me ask you two simple questions, okay? Why do you celebrate Valentine's Day? How many people actually get asked this or think about it?
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? Maybe you don't even celebrate it, okay? And we are going to address that as well. But then secondly, do you have thoughtful intentions behind Valentine's Day as a couple? If you're drawing a blank to any or all of those questions, do not fear. You're in the right place. Alana and I have put together some fun little stuff for you guys as we're gearing up towards February. We have a lot of things planned actually, and it's going to be a very fun month. So today we've curated a fun little mini Valentine's Day guide, hopefully to fit all the different categories couples often will fall into in terms of Valentine's Day. So we're here to give you hope and anticipation in taking full advantage of Lover's Day and making it into a very beautiful opportunity to cultivate intimacy within your marriages. So we have some categories here. And the first one we want to address is for the couples who do Valentine's Day just because that's what you do. Okay? There's really no intention behind it. You do it to do it. It's another thing to do, maybe a little bit more fun than the occasional week, but there's not a lot of intention set into it. So we want to give you some sweet tips to take action on now to spice up your Valentine's Day and in turn really setting the intention for your love life, for emotional intimacy, and for your marriage ultimately. So let's introduce or maybe reintroduce intention to this day, the days leading up to it, and the days to come after it. This is not just a one-day thing, you guys. It's not. Valentine's Day can be really taken advantage of for so much in your marriage. And I mean that in a very good way. Like, this can be something you can build anticipation over. You can plan around. You can do a lot of things that are intentionally good for your marriage in terms of growth and intimacy, right? So Alana and I want to challenge you guys to choose a reason or even several for why you're celebrating Valentine's this year. Why are you celebrating it? Celebrate it for each other. Celebrate one another. Set good intentions for each other. This is huge. This is really ultimately what builds connection and growth within our marriages. Like, if you are a marriage that is just moving forward without a roadmap and destinations and goals, you're just going to move forward. But ultimately, within that moving forward, you guys often will grow apart within the marriage instead of grow closer together. It's possible to go forward without getting closer. So we don't want that to happen. So that's why we're challenging you here now to set good intentions. Go listen to our Mindset Reset episode. We talked all about intentions and getting the gears going in your brain and your marriages to set action in motion together. And Valentine's Day is a great time to do that with everything going on and with the month of love now upon us, right? This is a great conversation for us to have as married couples as well. Like, you can never go wrong with sitting down and visiting goals and hopes and dreams and desires and things you want to grow in your marriage. And this is an amazing time to do it. So once you've had that conversation, set some fun goals to make this Valentine's Day that you are really looking forward to. Alana, what are some fun suggestions we could throw out there now for couples to spice things up leading up to Valentine's Day and for Valentine's Day?
I mean, I feel like if you're thinking about Valentine's Day now already and chatting about it as a couple, I feel like you're already making it intentional.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Right? Like, as long as maybe you're
I don't know, not like leaving expectations really high and open-ended, right? Because that can cause some heartache if, you're not really sure where everyone's
Totally.
at. But I don't know. I think if you just have those conversations, like you were saying, and sitting down and coming up with, your mindset, goals, whatever together,
Mhm.
I think that's already makes it really intentional and somehow just kind of makes it have more spice anyways.
No, I like that. Like, it's true that you're already growing forward if you're having those conversations. And I think naturally having those conversations, things are going to come up in those conversations that we should pay attention to because, your husband's going to say this and that he would love to do something like that. Write that down and implement that
Mm-hmm.
on Valentine's Day. Maybe challenge each other to each write 3 things down that they would just really, really love to experience or try, whether that's intimately in the bedroom. Maybe that's something you'd like to go do together as an activity.
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day doesn't have to be expensive or about the money and the purchases. Like, you could totally do all kinds of very fun, intentional things in your home and all encircled around your relationship.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like obviously this is Valentine's Day, so you think about like the stuff in the bedroom, but for some reason I just like keep forgetting that it's like the love day. It's like the making love day. It's like, oh right, like
Yeah, there's
to
so
me
much.
I just have, but your brain can get just so around
Oh,
the
totally.
things, right? Like what, you go into a superstore or wherever it is, and all it is giant teddy bears and
Mm-hmm.
roses or whatever. So it's interesting how even just going out and about, it can like make your mindset be like, oh, wait, no, do I like these cheap chocolates? No, I
Yes.
actually don't. But for some reason, I feel like I need cheap chocolate.
Yeah, seriously, right? Like, get real with each other and even yourself around Valentine's Day and make it a day that celebrates you too. That's ultimately what it's about.
Yeah. So for if you're maybe not in that category as a couple, maybe you're the couples who dread it.
Mm.
Because maybe, yeah, sure, the restaurants are crowded. It's tough to get a reservation last minute. Flowers are getting expensive these days, depending where you live too.
Wow.
And trying to find that perfect Valentine's Day gift without breaking the bank can be tough
Yeah.
if you're like looking for a specific thing.
Yeah.
But
And even with the times right now, like so many people have gone months
oh,
without work, right?
yeah, yeah. But this should be a holiday that is meant to be about celebrating love and cherishing those close to you, and not to be about a frantic race to meet the standards of what we think Valentine's Day should be about.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
I saw it was often some people dread Valentine's Day because so many people ask, what are your plans? So what are your plans for Valentine's Day?
Right. The
And
pressure's
people feel
on.
this like strange pressure
Yeah.
to have these big fancy plans.
Mm.
Or like maybe it's like your single friends asking you and you're like, oh, like I don't want to make it seem too exciting because maybe they don't
Yes.
have a very fancy Valentine's Day if they're
Totally.
right. So
Totally.
it's really interesting to think about it in different perspectives. But ultimately, like Valentine's Day should be about just expressing love
Yeah.
to your spouse. But at the same time, maybe you guys are having a hard time getting there and getting excited about celebrating your love if there are some unresolved issues going on in
Mm.
your marriage that have just been put off for too long.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, but please, like, don't put off having those conversations to keep from rocking the boat.
Yeah.
Because often, even just having those conversations and getting things out and talking it all over can make us feel even more connected than we were before. So,
Mhm.
regardless of where you are in this, if you dread it, just pray over your Valentine's Day together
Yeah.
and ask the Lord to show you, both together as you pray, like how you can enjoy each other and show love in a new, fun way,
Mhm.
or how you, like, I don't know, connecting just emotionally if that's something that's been tough for you for a while. Just ask for wisdom and how to go about that and new ideas. Um, and even if there's like experiences from your past that have left this day with like a yucky taste in your mouth, that
Mm.
you and your spouse could rewrite that day for you guys this year.
I love that. That's so good.
And for the couples who are in disunity over Valentine's Day. So maybe this is your relationship. perhaps one of you finds Valentine's Day to be this like commercial nightmare that's designed to force people into doing these elaborate things for one another. And while the other of the couple, thinks it to be a really romantic day that's filled with roses and unexpected surprises.
Yes.
So if you don't communicate these thoughts and expectations to one another before February 14th arrives, your evening might not go so hot.
Yeah.
So regardless of your opinion on Valentine's Day, I'd just like to run something past you. So even if you're the one who, maybe isn't into it, it's like just not who I am, or maybe this is like something it's your jam. Like, yeah, I love Valentine's Day. Try going about it with the attitude of, how can I please and express love to my spouse?
Yes.
So have that in your brain the whole day. How can I please and express love to my spouse today? Yeah. Because if both of you are running towards the goal of generating and expressing these feelings of love for each other, you won't be thinking about, how can I get my own way, or, what's he going to do for me, or, how is she going to surprise me, or whatever, or even, I don't even like this holiday, right? That won't even be in your mind if your focus is, how can I be showing my spouse how much I love them and expressing that to them?
Yeah.
Right?
That's amazing. That's such a good point. I love that. And then lastly, obviously there's a lot of couples out there who absolutely love Valentine's Day, and you do take very good advantage of that day. We love you. I'm one of those people. So we don't need to tell you a lot of stuff about Valentine's Day if you guys are loving it, rocking it. But what we will tell you is that we have a ton of fun planned for you guys in terms of, how am I gonna word this? Content creation that we're putting out. Really fun Valentine's ideas and gifts and tips and tricks and just a whole mentality around it. So we are putting together so many fun little guides for you guys that you'll see on our Instagram stories. So we're very excited for that. So that just adds a little bit more pizzazz into your guys' pockets for this day.
Hey friends, thank you so much for hanging out with us as we dive deeper into meaningful, godly intimacy, tackle the hard questions, and embrace truth while we're at it. We're also on Instagram at Kingdom Sexuality. You'll find our Instagram handle below in the show notes, where you'll also see any other resource links we may have mentioned in today's episode. As always, our hearts are to cultivate deep community and freedom with you guys, and we cannot wait to continue this journey alongside you. We'll see you in the next episode.